Good morning, guys. What we learned in yesterday's class? In yesterday's class, we discussed about Maxwell's second equation and third equation, right? What is the Maxwell's second equation? Del dot B equal to 0. Okay. The divergence of the magnetic flux density is always 0. And next concept is the Ampere circuits law or Ampere's work law. Okay. What is the statement of Ampere circuits law? Current enclosed. Okay. Current enclosed by that path, which is always equivalent to closed integral of magnetic field strength of that line. That is the H dot dl equal to I enclosed, or I enclosed equal to closed integral of H dot dl. Okay, both are true. Okay, the line integral of the magnetic field intensity or magnetic field strength, both are same. Okay, remember that. Around a closed path is equal to I enclosed. Okay, just like our Gauss law. Okay, and this is the proof. And next concept is, okay, and this is the problem associated to the Ampere's work law. Next concept is differential or point form of Ampere circuits law. Okay, this is called Maxwell's third equation. Okay, what is the Ampere circuits law in point form? Magnetic, the curl of magnetic field strength, the curl of, see here, the curl of CURL, the curl of magnetic field strength, that is H, del cross H, is equal to, where what is meant by J here? Conduction current density, J. Okay, del cross H equal to J. Okay, and the statement is the written statement. Okay, the statement here is the written statement of this expression. Okay, the magnetic field intensity H is, okay, the curl of magnetic field intensity H is equivalent to conduction current density J, is also called as Maxwell's third equation. Okay, remember that. Why? Because it may ask in competitive exams also. Okay, and okay, these are not required, but anyway, please go through this. Okay. Why? Because in the latter concept, you have to prove the same. Okay, for four Maxwell's equation, you have to prove the same here. Next, Stokes theorem. What is the divergence theorem and what is the Stokes theorem? What is the difference between the divergence and Stokes theorems? Divergence theorem converts surface to volume and volume to surface conversions, whereas the Stokes theorem uses to convert the line to surface. Line to surface. Okay, that is the difference. Okay, what actually the Stokes theorem states that? It states that simply the line integral of a magnetic field intensity over a closed path, which is that is the statement, right? See here, okay, a closed integral, right? That is closed integral of H dot dl means closed path in that the magnetic field intensity H of a line dl equal to surface integral of, this is not a closed path, remember here, closed in, sorry, okay, not a closed integral, this is the only surface integral, curl of magnetic field strength of that surface ds. Okay, that is the line to surface conversion. Okay, applying a curl on Stokes theorem. Okay, and according to Stokes theorem, by simply putting a curl factor here. Okay, and this is the proof. And next one is point form of magnetic flux density. Point form of magnetic flux density. Okay, point form of, okay, magnetic flux density means magnetic electric flux density is represented with, magnetic flux density is represented with capital D. Electric flux density is sorry, electric flux density is represented with capital D, and magnetic flux density is represented with capital B. Okay, so what is the point form of magnetic flux density? Okay, there is no derivation here, no need of derivation here. So the point form of magnetic flux density is del dot B equal to 0. Okay, that is the Maxwell's second equation, right? Okay, and this is also called as magnetic flux density equation for Maxwell's, or Maxwell's equation for magnetic flux density. Okay, and these are the concept learned in the last class. Okay, so I'm going to the next concept called scalar magnetic potential. Okay, in today's class we will discuss about, okay, scalar magnetic potential. Okay, scalar magnetic potential. Okay, what is meant by scalar magnetic potential? How it represents? Okay, actually the potential which is developed due to the scalar magnetic or scalar magnetism. Okay, or because of the magnetic okay, it is just like the concept called electric field strength. Okay, what is the relation between electric potential V and electric field intensity E? Electric field intensity E is also called as electric field strength, right? Okay, what is the relation between E and V? Okay, how these two are related? Okay, simply the negative gradient of this electric potential is treated as an electric field, right? So E equal to minus del V. This is the negative gradient, right? Negative gradient of the electric potential equal to electric field intensity or electric field strength. Okay, in okay, similar to this, uh, magnetic potential is also the same. Okay, here to differentiate it from the electric potential, here V is represented with V suffix M, where M denotes magnetic, V denotes potential. Okay, this is the magnetic potential. Okay, and this is the scalar quantity. Okay, the scalar magnetic potential is simply defined from this expression as integral of magnetic field intensity or field strength along a given path or a given line. Okay, H dot dl. This is the statement. Okay, no need to write all this okay, theory. Simply from this statement, we directly define, okay, scalar magnetic potential. This is not a vector magnetic potential. For suppose this is the vector, it is having some representation here as an arrow mark. So this is the scalar magnetic potential Vm equal to minus, okay, integral of magnetic field intensity or magnetic field strength, okay, of a line, differential line dl. Okay, that is the scalar magnetic potential uh, definition. Okay, and actually that is always finite. Okay, here the scalar magnetic potential between the 2 points A and B in a magnetic field is also represented as Vm of A comma B. Why? Because the length of the line is finite, okay, which extends from A to B. That's why the resultant magnetic potential, okay, the resultant magnetic potential between the points A and B equal to minus, okay, integral B to A, okay, magnetic field intensity of that differential line. Okay, the scalar magnetic potential is also called as magnetic current. Okay, remember this, that scalar magnetic potential is also called as a magnetic current, and its units are just like a regular current of amperes. The magnetic field intensity can also be expressed as, okay, H equal to, okay, just like that electric field intensity, E equal to minus del V, right? Similarly, here H equal to minus del Vm. This is also holds true. Okay, if, okay, but if it is possible only when convection current density equal to 0. Okay, in this case only it holds good. Okay, remember this point. Okay, now tell me, what is the scalar magnetic potential? Scalar magnetic potential is simply defined as, okay, uh, okay, where minus sign is always the degradation, okay, or reduction. Okay, and the resultant magnetic, okay, integration of, okay, the negative integration of, okay, the magnetic field strength of that line is real. That's why Vm equal to minus integral of H dot dl. The scalar magnetic potential between the finite line, with that finite line two ends are A and B, then the resultant electric potential between the 2 points A and B. So scalar magnetic potential Vm of A comma B equal to minus integral of B to A H dot dl. Okay, and this magnetic potential is also called as a magnetic current. Okay, and its units are amperes. Okay, remember this. Okay, why? Because here one special called what special property is there. What is the special property? Electric potential is measured in volts. Electric potential is measured in volts, whereas magnetic potential, the scalar magnetic potential is measured in amperes. Okay, that is the point you have to observe here. Okay, the magnetic field intensity is also represented like the relation between E and V as H equal to minus H equal to minus del Vm. Okay, what it means? Okay, the magnetic field strength H, okay, is equal to negative gradient of, okay, scalar magnetic potential Vm, scalar magnetic potential Vm, okay, when the conduction current density equal to 0. Okay, that is the negative gradient of this scalar magnetic potential is equal to magnetic field intensity at which the current density equal to 0. Okay, that is also the statement. Okay, this can be proved by taking the call on both sides. Okay, this is the mathematical proof. Okay, but this proof is not required for your uh, okay, okay, exams, but okay, try to know this. Okay, it is very simple. Okay, see here, what is the Maxwell's equation? So see here, this can be proved by taking the column on both sides. Del cross H equal to, okay, H equal to minus del Vm. Okay, just consider this is the expression relation between the H and Vm. Okay, when we simply apply the column on both sides, del cross H equal to del cross del Vm, right? Okay, as we know that curl of the gradient and any scalar is also 0. Okay, otherwise see here, this is the curl and this is the divergence. Okay, del cross del Vm, divergence and curl not applicable on uh, single parameter, right? So del cross minus del into del Vm equal to 0. Okay, so according to the Ampere circuit's law, del cross H equal to J, right? Okay, that is the actual statement. Okay, that is, okay, when we compare these two expressions 5.4 and 5.5, minus del cross del Vm equal to J, but del cross del Vm equal to 0, right? So from this, okay, that LHS terms are equal, that's why RHS terms are also equal. From that, J equal to 0. Okay, by equating these two equations. Okay, therefore the scalar magnetic potential Vm exists in the region where the current density is 0. That is the justification. Get it? Therefore the scalar magnetic potential Vm exists, okay, in the region where the current density is 0. Okay, uh, okay, in the same concept, the Laplace equation for scalar magnetic potential, actually scalar, I mean Laplace and Poisson's equations. Okay, del square V equal to minus rho V by epsilon is the one expression. If for suppose that volume charge density rho V tends to 0, then it becomes uh, Laplace equation, right? So Laplace equation for a scalar magnetic potential, okay, as we know that del dot B equal to 0, that is the Maxwell second equation, right? What is meant by B? Okay, what is meant by B here? Where B equal to, okay, in general, what is the B and what is the relation between B and its medium constants b equal to mu h, okay, where mu equal to mu naught into mu r, right? Okay, from this del dot b equal to 0, then b is replaced with mu h, then del dot mu h equal to 0. Okay, since this mu never equal to 0, why? Because it depends upon the type of the material. So mu equal to mu naught into mu r. This mu r depends upon the type of the material, and mu naught equal to 45 into 10 power minus 7, right? Okay, so it never equal to 0. So del dot h equal to 0. But what is meant by h? Okay, according to that above rule, okay, the negative gradient of the scalar magnetic potential, right? So just you have to substitute del dot minus del Vm. Okay, del dot minus del Vm means del of del is the del square, Vm equal to 0, and multiply with the negative sign on both sides. So you get del square Vm equal to 0. Okay. Okay, del square Vm equal to 0 for j equal to 0. This is the scalar magnetic potential, satisfies the Laplace equation also. Is it clear? Scalar magnetic potential. Okay, actually that is a single statement. Okay, okay, this much is not required. But remember that the Vm equal to minus of integral h dot dl is one expression. And this is also very important. H equal to minus del Vm for j equal to 0. Okay. Okay, that's all about scalar magnetic potential. Similarly, the next concept is vector magnetic potential. Next concept is vector magnetic potential, and this is much important. Okay, this is much important. See here, vector magnetic potential A. What is the scalar magnetic potential? Scalar magnetic potential is the Vm, right? This is the vector magnetic potential. Okay. Okay, and this relation is always very important. B equal to del cross A. What is the relation between A and B? Okay, and this A and B are not a sequence in alphabetical order. Okay, there is a strong relation between that B and A as B equal to del cross A in electromagnetic field theory. Okay, vector magnetic potential A. In a given magnetic field, in a given magnetic field, the curl of a vector magnetic potential A is equal to magnetic flux density B equal to del cross A. Okay, that is the direct statement of that vector magnetic potential. Okay, what is the relation here? Magnetic flux density B equal to curl of A. What is A? A is the vector magnetic potential. Okay, this is the vector quantity. That's why on the top it is represented with some arrow mark, which is having both magnitude and direction. Okay, where A is the vector magnetic potential, and units are very important. Weber per meter square. Okay, sorry, Weber per meter, not a meter square. This is the Weber per meter. Okay, A is the vector magnetic potential. Okay, having the units of Weber per meter. Did you get it? Okay, it is very important. Relation between B equal to del cross A, and okay, I see, okay, the same between many competitive examinations. That vector magnetic potential and magnetic flux density B. Okay, B equal to del cross A. What is meant by B? B equal to mu H, right? What is meant by B here? B equal to mu H. Mu H equal to del cross A. Okay. From this, H equal to 1 by mu into del cross A. where mu equal to mu naught into mu r, right? But mu r equal to 1 for free space, and mu naught equal to 4 pi into 10 power minus 7. That's why 1 by mu naught into del cross A. Okay, this is also alternate form of that B equal to del cross A. Okay, that's why I'm showing all these relations. Okay, that is the vector magnetic potential A, B equal to del cross A. From this, we define that vector magnetic potential. Next, vector magnetic potential for line current element. Okay, that vector magnetic potential for line current element. Here not consider any surface or volume. Okay, here they consider that vector magnetic potential for line current. Okay, the differential vector magnetic potential at point P. See here. Okay, some representation is there. Okay, some representation is there. I mean, it's for all. Okay, so vector magnetic potential, the differential vector magnetic potential at point P in the magnetic field is proportional to the differential current element IDL is flowing through the conductor and inversely proportional to the distance from that current element, okay, at point P, and it is denoted by dA and expressed as dA equal to mu by 4 pi IDL by R. Okay, dA equal to mu by 4 pi IDL by R. Of course, we have to prove the same here. So from this, when we integrate on both sides, and actually this is the statement of that vector magnetic potential for line current element. Okay, that line current element is quite different from surface and volumes. Okay, here they define for the basic line current element. Okay, what is the representation here? The differential vector magnetic potential. Okay, see here dA. What is meant by dA? Okay, this is the differential. A is the vector magnetic potential. Okay, differential vector magnetic potential. Actually, simply the statement, and this entire statement is okay, just describing this equation. That's all. Okay, the differential D vector magnetic potential A. Okay, at some point, which is some point in the magnetic field, is proportional to the current element IDL, differential current element IDL, okay, which is passing through the conductor. Okay, current is always passing through the conductor and inversely proportional to the distance from the current element, okay, to the point. Okay, simply you may assume like this. For suppose, sorry, okay, just wait. X, okay, Y and Z. Okay, for suppose this is the current element and this is the point P. Okay, when current I is passing through this current element, okay, when we consider some differential length dl, okay, okay, the field, the magnetic field induced in that conductor, okay, because of the current I is passing through, but because of this current passing through this, okay, some current, some magnetic field is existed, right? Okay, let us consider this is a point P. Because of this current passing through, how much current passing through this differential element is IDL, right? IDL. Okay, at this point P, some magnetic field is existed, or some vector magnetic potential is existed, right? So at this point P, okay, simple line joining this point. Okay, okay, at this point, okay, this is the statement here described. Okay, the differential magnetic vector potential in a magnetic field is equal to, okay, the current passing through the differential current element I proportional to, okay, that is proportional to IDL and inversely proportional to the, this is the R. Okay, and at which distance that point P is located, okay, or observation point, okay, is the R, inversely proportional. Okay, so dA is proportional to IDL and the dA is inversely proportional to 1 by R. Okay, okay, that is the statement. So integrate on both sides, we get dA and integration both are cancelled. A equal to mu by 4 phi is the constant, right? Mu by 4 phi integral, okay, IDL by r. Okay, mu by 4 phi is the constant, right? Okay, so a equal to simply integral of, okay, mu idl by 4 phi, or they represented like this, but mu by 4 phi is a constant. You may, okay, get out of that integral. So a equal to integral of mu idl by 4 phi r. Of course that integral is the line integral. Why? Because here we consider that line current element. Okay, that is the problem statement. Okay, don't remember the theory here. Okay, just remember what are the terms used in that expression is enough. dA is the D stands for differential, A is the vector magnetic potential, which is equivalent to, okay, some constant multiplied with that constant is the mu by 4 phi into, okay, IDL is the differential current element, the current passing through the differential current element. That's why the current I, which is passing through differential current element or differential length DL, and inversely proportional to, okay, the dA is inversely proportional to the distance between the point of observation P and the differential current element. Okay, that is the statement. Okay, okay, if we remember that words, okay, that actual words, then okay, you are able to frame that entire sentences, okay, and entire theory. So integrate on both sides, we get integral line integral of mu into IDL by 4 phi r. Okay, where mu by 4 phi is the proportionality constant. Okay, that is a statement of vector magnetic potential. Why I am repeatedly saying this vector magnetic potential for the line current means, okay, this is foremost important in all complex examinations also. Okay, all the of course most of the problems in the antennas is based on this expression. Okay, that is the reason why I am repeatedly okay, okay, telling this expression. Okay. See here, proof. Okay. From the already you know what is meant by Biot-Savart's law. Biot-Savart's law. Okay. This is the Biot-Savart's law, right? The magnetic field strength at point P is due to the differential current element and square of the distance between them, and proportional to differential current passing through the differential current element and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. That is the basic statement of the Biot-Savart's law, right? From the Biot-Savart's law, we know that from the differential line current IDL and the magnetic field intensity are related as H equal to line integral of IDL by 4 phi r square, and this is the unit vector direction. Okay, where r is the distance from the vector from current element of to the point P, and magnetic flux density from this magnetic flux density B equal to mu naught H equal to mu naught by 4 phi. Okay, how do you get this relation? It is already you know, right? B equal to mu naught into H. Okay, so multiplied with mu naught on both sides. Okay, mu naught into H equal to mu naught, okay, line integral of IDL AR by 4 phi r, right? So when I multiplied with mu naught on both sides, mu naught into H is replaced with B. Am I correct? So B equal to mu naught by this 4 phi, which you take outside. So mu naught by 4 phi integral IDL into AR by R square. Okay. Again, to bring the cross product out of the integral, let us do the following. Okay, we know that minus del of 1 by r and the integration. Okay, sorry, simply apply del. Okay, what is meant by del here? When we consider the Cartesian dou by dou x, okay, dou by dou x, dou by dou y, dou by dou z on that particular value, right? So here, when we consider that minus del of 1 by r, simply we get minus 1 by r square. Okay, minus of minus cancel. Okay, is having 1 by okay, 1 by r having minus 1 by r square here, minus 1 by r square here, minus of minus plus here, minus of minus plus 1 by r square, okay, into this okay, vector, okay, ar. So b equal to minus mu naught by 4 phi integral of IDL into del of 1 by r substituted here. Okay. Okay. According to the vector identity, okay, the similar concept is okay, earlier, okay, we solved, right? So according to vector quantity del cross fc bar and with some constant del cross with some constant equal to del f del cross c plus del f cross c. See here, f into del and del into f. Okay, identify these two. Okay, f into del and del into f. Of course, okay, we may not cover in the chapter one. Why? Because that is under only basics. Okay, okay, okay. Remember this relation here also. Del cross fc equal to f into del, and del into f. Okay, f into del into f. Okay, into c bar. Okay. Similarly, f equal to 1 by r and c equal to ideal. Okay, we substitute the same here. We substitute the same here. Okay, del cross 1 by r into ideal equal to 1 by r into del cross ideal plus del of 1 by r into ideal. Okay, so del of 1 by r into ideal equal to del cross ideal by r minus 1 by r into del cross ideal. But del cross ideal is 0. Why this del cross ideal equal to 0? Del cross I into dl, right? The divergence and curl is not existed on the same quantity, right? That's why this term is 0. Okay, when we substitute the same, the term is 0. Okay, okay, what are the resultant here? Okay, del dot 1 by r, del dot 1 by r cross ideal equal to del cross ideal by r only remains. Okay, or simply ideal cross del into 1 by r equal to minus del of, okay, ideal by r. Okay, and actually when we reverse this notation, okay, it may get the negative sign. Okay, substitute the same here. Okay, substitute the same here. So b equal to minus mu by 4 phi line integral of ideal cross of del of 1 by r. Okay, ideal cross del of 1 by r can I replace it with minus del of del cross ideal by r? Yes. So mu by 4 phi ideal. Okay, same. Okay, mu by 4 phi. Okay, this term, entire this term is replaced here, minus of minus plus and del cross ideal by r equal to del cross line integral of mu into ideal by 4 phi r. Okay, in terms of the vector magnetic potential, b equal to del cross here, right? So b equal to del cross, okay, this entire term mu idl by 4 phi r is the a. Okay, from this a equal to line integral of mu into idl by 4 phi r. Okay, this is the original statement, right? Mu into idl by r. Okay, in this way, okay, we are able to justify that b equal to del cross a in the vector magnetic potential. A is simply proportional to ideal and inversely proportional to distance between them. Okay, not square, only single term r. So the vector magnetic potential for the current distributions can be written as for surface and volume also. Okay, surface and volume. See here, this is only for the line. Okay, when we consider that surface current element, the differential surface current element KDS. Okay, then A equal to surface integral of, here mu into ideal, right? Mu into ideal, but here mu into KDS. Here the differential current element is ideal. Here when we consider the differential current element IDL, then this is the expression mu into IDL by 4 phi r. When we consider the differential surface current KDS, here mu into KDS by 4 phi r. When we consider here a volume current, okay, mu into JdV by 4 phi r. Okay, did you get it? Okay, the vector magnetic potential for line current, surface current, and volume current. Okay, line, surface, and volume. Okay, for these three, okay, okay, how we represent? Okay, Weber per meter, Weber per meter. Okay, Weber per meter. This is for line, and the same is extended to surface and volume. Okay, similarly, and Poisson equation for vector magnetic potential. Poisson's equation for vector magnetic potential. Poisson's equation for vector magnetic potential. From Ampere circuits, again, del cross H equal to J. So what is meant by H here? Can I replace, okay, from the equation of B equal to mu H? Okay, from the equation of B equal to mu H, can I write H equal to B by mu? So del cross H equal to J, del cross B by mu equal to J. Okay, or simply del cross B equal to mu into J. Okay, del cross B equal to mu into J. Okay, but already you know what is meant by B. B equal to del cross A from the above expression, vector magnetic potential, right? So just I have to substitute in place of B del cross A. Okay, just substitute here del cross A. Okay, what happens? Del cross A equal to mu Z. According to the vector identity, del cross A equal to del of del dot A minus del square A. Okay, this is the vector identity del cross A. Okay, in their case, just like our curl and divergence on the same quantity, how it becomes zero, just like that, del cross A equal to del of del dot A minus del square A. Okay, but already you know del dot B equal to zero. Okay, del dot B equal to zero, and del cross A means divergence and curl on the same quantity is also zero. That's why del dot A equal to, okay, del dot A equal to zero. Okay, that is the divergence of a vector magnetic potential is always zero. Okay, the divergence of a vector magnetic potential, is zero. Okay, did you get it? Okay. Okay, now del cross A equal to del square A. Okay, this is the resultant expression equal to mu Z, or simply del square A equal to minus mu Z. Okay, this is known as Poisson's equation for magnetic fields. Remember that. Okay, actually del square V equal to minus rho V by epsilon. That is the actual Poisson equation for electric fields. But whereas for the Poisson equation for the magnetic fields is del square A equal to minus mu into Z. Okay, if J equal to 0, then del square A equal to 0 becomes Laplace equation. Get it? How that Poisson equation becomes Laplace equation for the magnetic fields? Okay, when del square A equal to minus mu into J, where J is the conduction current density. If the conduction current density, and according to that material, that conduction current density is existed. Okay, for when we consider the material, for that material, the conduction current density is 0, then that del square A becomes 0. In that way, that Poisson equation becomes Laplace equation. Okay, this equation is known as the Poisson's equation for magnetic fields. If J equal to 0, then del square A equal to 0. Okay, in that way, that becomes Laplace equation. Okay, what are the important properties of the vector magnetic potential? The vector magnetic potential is proportional to the current density flowing through the conductor. That is already you know. Why? Because A proportional to IDL. And second one, the curl of a vector magnetic potential gives the magnetic flux density. What is the expression for A? B equal to del cross A. That is the actual statement, right? From that, what is meant by B? B is the magnetic flux density. How do we get that magnetic flux density? That magnetic flux density B, okay, okay, are you following? B equal to del cross A. B equal to del cross A. What is meant by B here? What is meant by B here? Magnetic flux density equal to, okay, a curl of vector magnetic potential. Okay, the curl of vector magnetic potential gives the magnetic flux density is the second property, and first property is A equal to integral mu into IDL by R, right? And proportional to R, proportional to IDL, and inverse proportional to R. The same here. Vector magnetic potential is proportional to the current density flowing through the conductor. And third property is satisfies the Poisson's equation. Okay, and see here, del square A equal to minus mu Z, okay, from the above expression, right? Del cross A equal to del dot J, del square A equal to minus mu Z, okay. It also that is it satisfies the Poisson's equation when J tends to 0, or J tends to 0 according to that material property, then it becomes Laplace equation. See here, the vector magnetic potential is used to obtain the radiation characteristics of antenna. That's why this is foremost important than scalar magnetic potential. Are you clear? Why this vector magnetic potential is so important? This vector magnetic potential is used to obtain the radiation characteristics of the antenna. That's why this vector magnetic potential is the heart of that antenna's concept. Okay, it's all about vector magnetic potential. Okay, this is very important. Okay, and all of you please going through this. Okay, vector magnetic potential. Okay, so far we covered two topics: scalar magnetic potential and vector magnetic potential. Okay, that scalar magnetic potential is that much not important, whereas that vector magnetic potential is okay very important. Okay, force and torque on a moving charge. Okay, this is also very simple. Next, Ampere force law, inductors and inductance, and magnetic fields, magnetic energy. Okay, another okay, three more concepts are there. Okay, I will complete this concepts. Okay, for today's class. So next concept is force and torque on moving charge. Just a second. See here, force and torque on a moving charge. Okay. See here, actually here I'm considering the two parts. Okay. Okay, just for the derivation of the Slormy force equation, I've considered the two parts. Again, those two parts are combined here. Okay, that's all. Force and torque in a moving charge. Force exerted by a magnetic field can be considered as three different situations here: force on a moving charge, force on a current element, force between the two current elements. Here, force exerted by magnetic field can be considered okay, from these three. Okay, from the moving charge, okay, on moving charge, on current element, and between the two current elements. Okay, what is the Lorentz force equation? Okay, here Lorentz. Here Lorentz force equation means Lorentz is the scientist name. Actually, he establishes this equation. Okay, for moving charge and for current element, force on a moving charge and current element. See here, consider positive charge. Positive electric charge Q is placed in a static electric field and static magnetic fields. Let us consider. Okay, simply I am considering one charge. Okay, second. Okay, Simply, I am considering one point charge, which is on the static electric and static magnetic fields. According to the Coulomb's law, the electric field exerts a force on both stationary and moving electric charges. Okay, that is the statement of the Coulomb's law, right? The electric force exerted on a positive charge by the electric field intensity E. Okay, how much force acts on it? F equal to QE, right? Or simply E equal to F by Q, right? Electric field strength or electric field intensity on a fixed charge Q, right? Static charge F equal to QE. So this is the F equal to QE. Okay, this is the representation of the electric. So the direction of the force is the same as that of the electric field intensity, and no magnetic force is exerted on a static charge. Why? Because this is the static charge. There is no magnetic effect, or there is no magnetic force exerted on a stationary charge. The magnetic field is exerted force only on moving charges only, right? So in the charge is moving with velocity, okay, the charge is moving. Okay, in previous case, the charge Q is stationary, but in this case, the charge is moving with velocity U. Okay, in a magnetic, in the presence of a magnetic flux density B. Okay, here the charge is moving with velocity U, and in the magnetic flux density B, then the electromagnetic force on the charge is, okay, this is the force of that magnetic flux density equal to this is the moving charge with velocity of u, so q into u in magnetic flux density b. Okay, this moving charge on that magnetic flux density is always perpendicular, that's why qu is the curl of b. Okay, fm equal to qu into curl of b. Did you get it? Lorentz force equation first states, okay, effect of force on static charge and effect of force on magnetic charge or magnetic field. Okay, this is the magnetic flux density. In this magnetic flux density, moving charge is qu with velocity, that moving charge is moved with velocity of u, then the net force acts on that moving charge, which okay, perpendicular to that magnetic flux density is always, so q into u cross b. Okay, so the direction of from this, okay, from this relation, okay, what you are able to observe, okay, that charge, moving charge, which is always more perpendicular to that magnetic flux density, or these two are always perpendicular to each other. Then you take this apart. Okay, the direction of the magnetic force, see here, the direction of the magnetic force along the normal to the plane of u and b. Okay, the total force on the moving charge. Okay, now the total force on the moving charge in the presence of both static and magnetic fields, static magnetic and static electric fields, is simply combining that two forces of the above. Okay, electric and magnetic, as total force F equal to Fe plus Fm. F equal to Fe plus Fm equal to Q into E plus U cross B, right? Above expression QE plus QU cross B, right? Simply, I am taking that Q as a common term. This is the N is the newtons. Okay, under this much force acts on. So the above equation is called the Lorentz force equation for a moving charge. It relates the mechanical and electrical forces. Okay, here M is the mass of the charger particle moving in both electric and magnetic fields. Then F equal to M into du by dt. Okay, actually according to the formula F equal to ma, so this ma is the du by dt. Okay, F equal to m into du by dt equal to rate of change of velocity is the acceleration, right? So F equal to ma is the well-known formula. Okay, from that F equal to ma, where m is represented with du by dt. Why? Because here u is the velocity of that moving charge. Okay, with respect to time is the acceleration. That's why F equal to ma equal to q into E plus U cross B newtons. Okay, the solution of this equation is important in determining the locus of charged particles in the electromagnetic fields. Okay, it should be noted that Fm is small compared to Fe. Okay, except at high velocities. Okay, remember that this is the Lorentz force equation. Okay, and this is not required. And next concept is the Ampere force law. Okay, the Lorentz force equation is clear. Okay, Lorentz force equation is simply stated. Okay, when we consider the static charge, Okay, that is the basic statement of the Coulomb's law. Sorry, Lorentz force equation. Okay, for static and magnetic fields. Okay, the total net force acts on the charge. So the next concept is the Ampere's force law, the force between the two current elements. The force between the two current elements. Okay, and when two current elements are considered, what is the okay force acts on uh, or simply between the two current elements. See here, Ampere's force law states that force between the two current carrying conductors IDL1 and IDL2. Okay, but two current elements, right? That's why they are represented as I1 and I2. Okay, I1 DL1 and I2 DL2 are the differential current elements of that current element 1 and 2 respectively. Then these two are displaced at a distance of R. You see here, and this is the current element 1 and this is the current element 2. Okay, this is 1 and 2. How much current passing through them is the I1 and I2. But here when you consider it's a differential length. So this is the DL1 and this is the DL2. Okay, so I1 DL1 and I2 DL2, these are spaced apart, or so 1 to 2 distance is R12. Okay, that is the representation. Ampere's force states that the force between the two current carrying elements I1 DL1 and I2 DL2 placed at a distance of R12 is given by F equal to mu by 4 phi line integral of. Okay, in general, what is the line integral? What is the force? Okay, IDL by R square, right? But here two current elements are spaced apart. That's why, so mu by 4 phi line integral 1 and line integral 2 I2 DL2 cross I1 DL1 cross. Okay, and its vector direction of from 1 to 2 is the AR12 by square of the distance R12 square. So I1 DL1 is the current element of a first conductor, I2 DL2 is the current element of a second conductor, and R12 is the distance between the current elements of the two conductors. Okay, what is depicted here? Okay, the same is mentioned like this. Okay, Ampere's force law is used to express the force on one current carrying conductor directly in terms of a second current carrying conductor without needing to find the magnetic field between them. Okay, here no need to find that magnetic field effects. Okay, directly we are able to find that force between these two. Okay, see here, Ampere's force law is used to express a force on one current carrying conductor directly in terms of a second carrying conductor without knowing any magnetic field between them. Okay, see here, when two conductors, okay, when two conductors in the form of loop L1 and L2, here these two conductors are formed as a two loops. Okay, this is the one current carrying conductor. This is the another carrying. This is the another current carrying conductor. This is the 1 and 2. Okay, these two current carrying conductors carrying currents called I1 and I2. This is the I1 and I2. Okay, let the current element of the first conductor is I1 DL1 and second conductor is I2 DL2. The current elements are placed at a distance of R12 from each other. Then the unit vector AR12 as shown in figure. According to the Biot-Savart's law, what is the expression? What is the expression? Okay, actually H equal to integral of IDL by 4 phi R square into AR, right? But here they mentioned instead of integration, they consider the differential form. So DH2 equal to I1 DL1 into AR12 by 4 phi R square. Okay, similarly, it's magnetic field intensity and multiplied with mu. Okay, multiplied with mu. So that this expression becomes B, right? Mu H with mu with both sides. So mu H is replaced with B, right? So D into B equal to mu I1 DL1 cross AR12 by 4 phi R square. So due to that magnetic field B2, that differential force on the current element I2 DL2 is DF2 equal to I2 DL2 into B2. Okay, and this much of force acts on, right? Okay, simply I into B into DL, that is expression. Okay, general expression for force. Okay, due to another current element is F equal to B into I into L, BIL. Okay, that is a standard expression. Okay, so here that same is expressed as a B2 into I2 into DL2. So taking a differential magnetic flux density, D of DF2 equal to IDL2 of the differential magnetic flux density. We are substituting the above equation. Okay, we get, so D of DF2 equal to IDL2 into dB2, right? So I'm replacing that dB2 with the above expression. Okay, the above expression means this is the expression, mu into, okay, IDL by 4 pi r square. Okay, integrate on both sides. Okay, what we get for F2? Okay, double differentiation. That's right, double integration of closed integral of L1 and L2. So I1, I2, and mu by 4 phi are the constants. So DL2 into DL1 into, and I mean DL2 cross DL1 cross AR12 by R12 square. So the force F1 on a current loop L1 due to that loop L2 is always opposite. F1 equal to minus F2. Okay, that is the Ampere's force law. Okay, remember this relation. Why? Because okay, this Ampere's force law is always asked in short answer questions. Okay, directly we represent this expression is NF. Okay, no need of, okay, all this derivation. Okay, the derivation is also very simple. Okay, but we have to practice once. And next concept is the inductor and inductance. Okay, in previous case, capacitor and capacitance. How? Similarly, here inductor and inductance. Okay, this is the general concept. Okay, with these two topics, this topic is over. Okay, so what is meant by inductor and how inductors are formed? Okay, simply when we wound that conducting wire, okay, in a helix shape, then it forms an inductor. Okay, and how much reactance it afford for current passing through the, okay, that inductor is the inductance. Okay, an insulated conducting wire wound on a magnetic material with n turns, then that coil, okay, it forms a coil, okay, called inductor. The medium inside that coil of that maybe that magnetic material or a free space. Okay, in general, okay, we frequently use that air core inductors. Air core, and I mean there is no conductive medium. Only air is considered as a core. That's why there is the air core inductor. Okay. Okay, when current I is passing through that coil, it produces a magnetic field B, which causes a flux phi. Okay, in each turn of the coil. Okay, inductors stores the energy in the form of magnetic field. Already you know that. Okay, if the medium of the coil is linear, if the medium of the coil is linear, then the flux linkage of the coil is proportional to the current flowing through it. So N phi proportional to I. So N phi proportional to I means if the proportionality is replaced with L, that is the constant. That is just like our Ohm's law. Okay. So from that L equal to N phi by I. Okay. This is also called a self-inductance. Self-inductance of the coil. Okay. For suppose such type of coils are put side by side here. Okay, when we consider the same coils, when we made the same coils, okay, side by side. Okay, for suppose, okay, and when we consider only one coil, that is the self-inductance. When we consider these two coils, and because of that flux produced in that first coil is induced into the second coil, that is called mutual inductance. Okay, of course this is not required here. Okay, that is inductance. Okay, inductance of a solenoid. Okay, solenoid means, okay, the solenoid which is an inductor of length L and area of cross section is S and number of turns N and the medium permeability is mu. Then the length of the solenoid is much greater than its radius, and let us assume, okay, then I is the current flowing through the solenoid. Okay, according to that okay, Ampere's law, closed integral of H dot dl equal to N closed, right? So H dot L equal to N into I. Okay, both are equal, right? Okay, IN closed means how much current passing through. or simply H equal to Ni by L, where Ni is called a magnetomotive force, MMF. The total flux density N phi equal to N into B into S. Okay, so this is the one expression. Okay, further it is extended. Okay, where mu is the permeability of a magnetic material, where surface area equal to phi r square. Okay, from the definition L equal to N phi by I, so that N where phi is replaced with from the above expression mu hs, right? Phi is the mu hs, N mu hs by I. So the inductance of the solenoid L equal to N mu into that H is replaced with Ni. H is replaced with Ni from the above expression. Okay, magnetomotive force. Okay, Ni by okay Li. So N into N is the N square, mu S by L. Okay, I cancel. So inductance per unit length. Okay, L by small l equal to N by L square into mu S equal to small n square into mu S. So of course, this is not required. Okay, and this is the important expression L equal to N square into mu S by L. Okay, L equal to N square into mu S by L. Remember that relation only. Okay, that's all about the inductance of the solenoid. Okay, and remember this expression only N square into mu S by L. Okay, it's very simple. Okay, and the next concept is magnetic energy. Magnetic energy. Okay, actually, that what is the magnetic energy? How that inductor stores the energy? Okay, that inductor stores the energy in the form of magnetic field, right? Okay. So energy stored in the magnetic field produced by an inductor is given by half Li square. Okay, just you have to prove the same here. If your current I is applied on a coil which is having a N turns, okay, it produces a magnetic field with flux. The voltage induced across the coil V equal to N into d phi by dt. Okay, where N into d phi by dt, which is equivalent to L into di by dt. So N phi equal to Li. Why? Because d by dt, okay, both are equal and opposite, both are cancel each other. So N phi equal to Li. What is the expression for power? P equal to V into I, right? So V equal to that expression. Okay, V equal to L into di. Okay, V equal to L into di by dt. Okay, or simply N into d phi by dt. Okay, V is substituted here. So N into I into d phi by dt equal to L into I. Of course, the minus sign is there. L into I into di by dt. Of course, either one. So therefore, energy stored equal to power P equal to V into I, right? So Wm, okay, and the magnetic energy stored Wm equal to integral of P dt equal to integral of Li into di by dt of dt, right? So that di by dt both are cancelled. Dt cancel. Integral of Li into di is there. So integral of Li into di means simply Li into I, right? So half Li square. So Wm equal to half Li square joules. Okay. This is the energy stored in inductor. Okay. From that, L is also defined. Okay. Li square equal to 2 into Wm. Okay, Li square equal to Li square equal to 2 into Wm. From that, L equal to 2 Wm by I square Henrys. Okay, that much of inductance. Okay, stored that much of energy of Li square. Okay, it's all about the today's class. Okay, all of you please go through this material. Okay, it is very convenient to you. Okay, in the next class, I will start that Maxwell's equation. Okay, thank you for your kind attention. Thank you.